What's going on, YouTube? It's Ordyh here, right back at a new video. First of all, what is this? Look. It's like a whoosh. I don't know what the hell my hair is doing right now. It's fucking weird. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about the UMG Dallas recap. I do these all the time. For those who missed it, I'm sure VODs will be up soon eventually, but I'm just going to go over a quick recap for people who missed it, just want to know who placed what. As always, we're going to talk about the disappointments at first, people who placed outside of top 8, who we thought were going to place top 8, at least me personally, or close to top 8, maybe like 9 through 12. I'll add the list over here. You got Optic Nation placing 17th through 20th. That was the biggest, what the hell? All four of those players are individually talented, obviously. Ricky is really good at this game, in my opinion. Miracle Zembo's also pretty good. Moch is really good at this game as well. Arguably one of the top 5 ARs in the game. But they just, I don't know, this team doesn't seem to be meshing really well. They went 2-2 in the pool. Then, they lost their loser bracket match, and that was it. They had a disappointing finish. It was pretty upsetting, but it is what it is. You can't win them all. But it seems to be like the recurring theme, the motif. For those of you who have ever taken a film and media class, you know what motif means as recurring theme. I already said it, but whatever. That was a disappointing finish. Another one was Enigma 6. They placed, I believe it was 9 through 12, or no, 13 through 16, I believe. I don't know. Yeah, 13 through 16. They had a disappointing finish. I thought that they're gonna place 9 through 12, maybe even sneak in the top 8, get an eighth spot finish. There's a lot of hype around that team, obviously, ever since the last event. So following up a third place finish with a 13 through 16 finish is very disappointing. They went 0-4 in their pool. They even lost to the open bracket team. That was kind of sucks at 0-4. They went to the losers bracket. They won. I think they won two. They won 1 or 2 of their losers bracket matches, and then they lost. It is what they said. It is what it is. But that was pretty. A big shocker to me, at least. Yeah, I didn't have them placing super high up, but I thought that they would have at least snuck in the top 8 or something like that. Another disappointing finish was actually, even though they placed 9 through 12, was Elevate. I thought Elevate was going to come in here and get a top 4 finish, maybe even top 6. I really like that team. I love Saints. Arguably one of the better players in this game. The whole team's actually really good, obviously. They went 4-0 in their pool, and then after that it was just loss, and it kind of came out of nowhere with them. With that, it was kind of shocking that they lost both their bracket matches. But again, sometimes you just don't have whatever. Sometimes things don't go your way. You just get the bad timing in the game and just don't make the right plays, or you make the right plays, but you just don't win the fights or whatever, which is very uncharacteristic of that type of team because of how each of those players, Classic, Slack, Apathy, Saints, they all have that ability to make something happen out of nothing. But yeah, that was a pretty disappointing finish. But let's get into the top 8. In 8th place, you had ISO. They had an okay event. The biggest thing to take away from them was Havoc's 1v4 against Optic Gaming, which was the craziest thing I've ever seen. It was a 1v4. It was Riot S&D. It was 5-5. So it was the last round, round 11, and Havoc clutches a 1v4 with the bomb down, which was crazy. It was insane. Definitely for the highlights, arguably one of the best clutches I've ever seen in this game and in probably all of Call of Duty. It definitely, if up there in that list. Next up, you have VVV. They placed 7th. That was no offense to them. That was a shocker in a way I didn't place them in the top 8. They had a rough pool. I think they went 1-3, or maybe it was 2-2, and they had to work their way in the losers bracket, and so they clutched up a lot. I think they beat Optic Nation and XGN, which was Killa's team, so it was kind of cool. And so they beat decent teams to get up to the top 8, so congrats to them. Next up, you have Envious placing 6. That seems to be their spot they like to be in, the 5th and 6th spot. I don't think they've placed anything higher than that in this game. I mean, to be fair, this Envious roster is different from the last one. This is the first time they played on land together, so it's understandable. I mean, they did still play top six. They got six. They didn't get any money, so I guess that kind of sucks. But so they still placed pretty high up. And if they were in the pool with Optic, and they of course they lost Optic. And in fifth place was TCM. Um, they had a grind as well. They had to they got kicked in the they didn't make it out of pool play in the winners. They made it into, I believe, losers, and then they had to like work their way up. In fourth place was Epsilon. Now here's the biggest thing with them. Epsilon had a really good event. I mean, only fourth place, yes, but they had a pretty good event. They were the reasons why Optic Gaming got knocked into the losers bracket early on in round one. They beat them 3-1. It was pretty insane. um, excuse me. Epsilon had a really good event, in my opinion. They were firing on all cylinders, like most of the matches I saw from them. They were working really well. Fourth place, nothing to be ashamed of. It's really good. They got in the money, so that's all that really matters, right? Third place was Denial. They had a really good event, obviously. I believe they won their pool, and they also obviously placed third. I had them placing top three. Actually, the three who are in the top three were what I had, so I was pretty good with those predictions. I never posted a prediction video, but it is what it is. Let me look real quick about Denial. Yeah, Denial won their pool 3-1. That's what it was. They lost to G4G. That was the first match. They lost to G4G, and they placed like top like a million, and then they won the next three, and then they ended up getting third. So that's good to them. Yeah, Group D was actually pretty much like the pool of death. TCM did not make it. Yeah, it was like Epsilon, Elevate, Optic Nation, and TCM all in the same pool. That was pretty ridiculous. I forgot to talk about that. And then in second place was Optic Gaming. They went 4-0 their pool. They stopped through everyone with ease. Like, it wasn't, the games weren't even like close. Like, they 3-1, they 3-0'd XGN, they 3-0'd Tactical Turtles, they 3-1 Dunkin' Donuts, and then they 3-0'd Envious. It was just like it was a sweep fest. And then again in bracket play, they actually, like I said, they lost to Epsilon 3-1, and then they had to run through bracket. They 3-0 TK, they 3-1 ISO, they 3-1 Envious again, and then they 3-1 Epsilon again, and then they 3-1 Denial, and then they get 3-0'd by FaZe. So obviously that's the next thing we're talking about is FaZe. FaZe had a really good event. They obviously won. They obviously had a really, 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 really good event. Let me look at their pool play. Yeah, they went 4-0 in their pool. They swept almost everyone but Rise. They lost to Rise in the uplink, but they swept everyone else. And yeah, they only lost. They did not lose a hard point. They did not lose a search. But that's pretty much it about this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Congrats to FaZe. Congrats to Zumi being a back-to-back Dallas champion. I'm going to be up really quickly, and leave a like and subscribe if you guys are new around these parts. And as always, if there's ever a problem, just hashtag raise a peace.